Chillax. Alright, hello folks, what's going on? Scooch our chair up. Hey. Alright. Let's give everyone a little time to make their way here. I hope y'all are doing good. So I'm going to work on building these redeems up for this stream. I'll give everyone time to make their way here. Let me know how the volume is too once you guys get in here. Oh snap! Hey Changeling, thanks for that. I can talk. Hope you're doing good. I'll give you a shout out in a second. Give me a little minute. Alright, I hope you're doing good. Give me a sec. Alright, I think we're more or less set up. Hope everyone can hear me decently. Yeah, let me know how the sound is. Yeah, I'm a dork. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, I already got that one. So yeah, I think we are almost set. And this is to go even further beyond. Yeah! Don't ask me to do that. Give everyone a little bit of time. But I hope y'all are doing good. Alright, let that charge up. I need to just put in a command so you guys don't have to awkwardly watch me type shit in. 'Cause I'm not smooth, like, at all. What we got? What? What? I forgot about that because that was my first time seeing. I've heard that. I didn't know you could put, you know, all the characters in ridiculous outfits. That was a genuine reaction out of me.
My favorite games.
Oh my god. I need to stream that one, so that'll be fun when I eventually get to that one. Because that one was Engage, right?
Yeah. I think in order to keep it a surprise here, I don't know if I'll stream it anymore.
Oh, but like, if you ever do decide, I'm all for it because it just seemed it was an absolute fever. Oh, Jesus Christ, Little Mouse, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are you, bud?
I'm alright. Okay.
Hey, Badger, thank you for contributing to the drinking stream. We're almost at the goal.
You're
so.
welcome.
Oh shit! Everyone's just popping in. Hey, no one want to announce themselves, huh? All right. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
The whole point was to jump scare you.
Oh, I see.
Did you see the Marvel Rivals news today?
Oh yeah, Ultron. Yep. There. What the hell? He looks like a lot of fun, though. Ultron looks like fun. Yes.
Yeah. Seen in the TTS, you know, she had a lot of fun with it.
Of course she did. Yeah, I saw Ultron. Did you see the Storm and Jeff team up now, apparently?
Sharknado.
Yeah. Oh, my fucking God. But we got a lot of questions to get through, so let's hop in. Let's hop right into it. Well, you know what? Yeah, like you know what? It's only 7. I'm actually on time for once, and I'm early. Hallelujah.
7:50.
Shut up! That's early. Don't ruin it. Actually, this is another one of those I need to finish. I'm literally right at the end of Subspace Emissary. I'm just in the maze right now. Like, are you at work, Badger, or are you free?
I am.
Oh, you are at work. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It must be slow enough that you're here, so I appreciate you. Oh, and because you both donated, I got a drink. Thank y'all.
Bottoms up.
Oh, that's good letdown. Ugh. But keep going on with it. I hear Jeff ate Ultron. I mean, he did. It's canon. Like he said, Sharknado is officially canon, so shit. Alright, I'll pull up the list. Oh, if you guys have any ideas, I don't know if you know Changeling. I intend to do a Resident Evil 4 stream, Decide My Fate. So how it's gonna work is that you guys, I'll put in a bunch of redeems, or you guys, I'll just let you guys decide my limitations or my buffs or my nerfs going into each individual chapter, and we'll swap it up. Like, say, I'm only allowed to use one gun, and maybe you get to decide what gun that is. Though that'll really be harder on some chapters, but it's whatever you guys decide. If you want me to sell a gun,
Knife only.
not oh Jesus Christ, that's a rough one. But that's on the list. Knife only. Grenades only. No martial arts. No kicks. No suplexes. Just whatever you guys can come up with. I'll do that, and we'll change it up for each chapter, since some chapters will have more or less enemies and whatnot. So, if you guys come up with, I mean, literally anything. You can even put up, so you can even slap on, like, no healing. That's another one I can think of right off the top of my head. Or,
Giving us ammo, dude.
I know, that's the idea. You guys can give you guys more ammo, so I have less, I guess. So, whatever you can think of, like, put it here or put it in the chat, so that way I'll be able to write and jot those down. I'm trying to think of anything stupid, like if Ashley dies, we start all the way over or whatnot. Shit, oh, that would be.
That would be kind of brutal.
I know.
That would be brutal. I think we could forgo that.
All right, so fission milled. All right. Okay, so we don't want to be. Like, we do want to try to make things viable. So I'll say at the most maybe 3 limitations per chapter, especially on like some of those longer ones, because some chapters can be really long and brutal. Like the castle section will probably be where things start getting ridiculous, especially with extra limitations. But like I said, I played the game enough to where I'm confident I can, under normal circumstances, I can beat the game on the hardest difficulty without too much issue. But with you,
are you talking original or remake?
I'll also let you guys decide that. I'm way more confident with the original. I finally did beat remake on the second highest difficulty. Now, if you want to be more surprises, I say go with the remake, to where remake will definitely be rougher per se. But that's probably what you guys would want. So I'll let you guys decide that. What do you think? Yeah. What are you two feeling so far? Original or remake? Or if you have any limitations in mind?
I say probably remake, so it'll be more of a challenge.
Okay. Alright, remake. Okay. Alright, we'll definitely go with remake then. So, no healing.
No. Oh, here's one. No running.
Oh my god. Oh god. Some chapters will be. Oh god. Okay, so. Oh, heaven forbid I'd see like a chainsaw. I can't run and cheat. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Or any of those. Or any section, honestly. Especially if you're severely outnumbered. Oh god. Oh, that's a brutal one. That's a brutal one. Alright. We're writing that one down. Alright. Okay, that's a good one. No running. We'll put that one down. Demons. Alright. Save. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna pull it up, because there's a lot in here, so I'll go ahead and get started. Alright, some more got added. Oh, next time I put in a cap, because most of these are from one guy, but there's a bunch. Okay, first question from Baron Nightingale. Alright, well, first off, before I start, is the volume okay? Can you guys hear me? Is this too loud? Ooga booga booga booga. No.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. Alright, well, something more low-key. Oceans and Great Ways. Alright, from Baron Nightingale. First question. What finally caused you to finally pursue a reboot of Spiders and Magic? That's a good question. Simply put, I hated how I ended part 4. And I think I've been on record saying that several times. Like, just looking back, part 1 and part 4 are the 2 episodes I utterly despise nowadays. Though granted, part 1 is super popular. Thousands and thousands of followers, like quite literally. Like if I combine fanfiction and fanfiction, I think last time I checked I've had over like 10,000 followers. Like over 10K. Like it's big and it's a meme on the internet. It's my most known story. But it's my first. And it shows.
You know, are you a true artist if you don't end up picking your own work?
As a guy who's...
At some point or another, yeah.
I mean, as a guy who's in school for art and art education, that is absolutely the fact. Like, even my teachers, and I'm getting paid to write buildings and stuff, but even like, you're paying me hundreds of dollars of this. Are you insane? All right, your tax dollars are being wasted, I guess. But it's whatever. But not much. We just got started. Answering the... Oh, hi, Marvel, by the way.
Hey.
But yeah, we're just answering... Oh, you're not going to be here too long?
Well, I know I just said I had all the time in the world, but that was before I got called to help out a family member or something, which will happen in about an hour. It's
Oh.
not a whole day thing, and it'll just be, I don't know, maybe we'll start in an hour, and then I'll be back in an hour. 2
Okay.
times.
Okay, well, like, we'll try to get something done then. Well, the first question was basically what caused me to come back and, you know, start the reboot. And just reiterating that how much I just hated part 1 and 4 of the original run. Like, right now, I can't go back and read part 1 and 4 without cringing. There's just so much about it. Just so many things and tropes that I did that I hate. And if I even thought about doing half of it, I would hate the current run right now. But that's really why I did the reboot. I hated how it ended. Like it was such this big long story, and it ended on a wet fart. And I hate using that term, but it's true. It ended just so badly that just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I wanted to go back and rewrite it, but I couldn't even bring myself to do that. That's how much I hated part 4. To where it's at this point, it's that redheaded stepchild. They're adopted. I want nothing to do with them. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm a redheaded stepchild.
You're different, though.
Part of me wonders what it would have been like
And
in
not brunette.
Yeah. Shush. But, all right. Well, second question from Baron Nightingale, and I think it's tied in. And that is on a more serious note. Have there been any storylines and characters you cut out that you regret doing? Yeah. Again, it's one of those that there's just so much potential left out there throughout the first original run that I could have done. And it's one of those. I think you brought up a good one from part 3, Days of Friendship Past, like how I rushed the Applejack and Rainbow Dash argument and reconciliation to where I had them immediately make up and just left it at that. To where as soon as you brought up in the review that I kind of wish you drew it out, and you're right, because I was going off of what the episode from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series did, but like you brought up, that they only had 22 minutes to work with. They weren't given the luxury of time, whereas I did, and I didn't take advantage of that. That's one of the big ones for me. If I had to name another one from, say, part 4, I'd say I honestly kind of did what Spider-Man 3 did with Venom. I shoehorned them in and did nothing with it. I did nothing with Venom. Venom was there for a cup of coffee, and that was that. and I pissed off one of my favorite readers from that back then, but it's a learning experience. What were you about to say?
Were there any storylines that you were planning to do but then cut in favor of something else?
Ooh, actually, yeah.
Or draft stuff?
Like, let's see. Originally, when Applejack was the love interest, I was gonna explore her whole missing parents thing. That was on my mind for a while because I had her kind of leading up into it, hence why I had Apple Bloom kind of adopt Peter into the family, which is something I completely forgot about until now, honestly, because I was going somewhere with that, but then I just dropped it.
I remember that. I was actually starting to get really into that family dynamic with the Apples, considering, I had a whole commission comic set up just based on that entire scene.
Yep.
That you did.
Yeah, and that's buried in my hard drive somewhere. I gotta find it. I still have that picture somewhere.
The lost media.
So, and I'll share that. I'll share that in the server. Thank you for reminding me about that. But yeah, that was why I had Peter, be adopted by the Apples, because I was going somewhere with that. Like I was gonna have that. The last thing Applejack said about her parents was that she remembered them getting snatched up by the vines. That was leading up into something with that. But for some reason, that was kind of the problem with having such a big, massive story, because I don't know if a lot of you guys remember, but do you know how long part 1 and 4 are? Jesus. Like, I actually look back, like the longest Harry Potter book is like 300,000 words. Both part 1 and 4 individually were about that same length. That is nuts. That's why nowadays I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that again. Yeah, like Soulstorm brought her that AJ. Well, she was one of the front runners to win the shipping war back then. Because remember, one of the first things Peter said was that Applejack reminded him of Gwen. That's also why I had a big long-term goal for AJ. But again, it got lost in the show. Like the moment Twilight became the love interest, then during the same time she became an alicorn and a princess during the same time in the show. So that's immediately where my mind is like, oh, okay. So we gotta implement that now. So go ahead. Okay, I thought you were saying.
That might be my video game in the background and just.
Oh, okay. No, I got you. Yeah, part 1 was probably the longest fic I read back in the day. It's still one of the longer ones. I mean, it's no Fallout Equestria by any means, because that's its own animal. But for what I was doing back then, yeah, it's like well over 300,000 words, which that's just as, I think it was just a little bit shorter than Goblet of Fire. I think that's the longest Harry Potter book, if I remember correctly. So that. And if I wasn't getting paid for it, so shit. But yeah, so that's the big thing for part 1. And part 4, there was so much potential with 4. I really wanted to expand upon the Moreland arc that happened. I don't know if you remember the dude that like beat the crap out of Patricia. Then, beat the crap out of Mayday and Peter. But he was only there for like 2 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it?
Is this Q&A getting put to YouTube too?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it.
Sorry, please continue. I just had to get that out of the way.
Oh, no. It's definitely going to be posted. Because the first Q&A is still posted on YouTube. So we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so that's the big one for part 4. That was meant to be. I kind of wanted to be its own story, because if you know anything about Moreland, he's usually a really big flipping deal whenever he shows up in the comics. And sometime after that, we had the whole thing with him in the Spider-Verse, but Marvel can tell you more about that.
I mean, kinda, but in more recent runs, Moreland's become like this threat that Peter's just adapted to.
True.
I think it just like if Peter was meeting him for the first two, maybe 3 times, he'd be in that ballpark.
Which we have to.
By the time you get to 4, that's when it becomes Batman prep time experience or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And to be fair, I had to remember how old this goddamn story is. This story is like, it's more than 10 years old. It's almost 15 years old now I'm thinking about it. And Moreland was still kind of newer-ish at the time. So he still kind of had that fresh car smell back then. Hence why he was a big deal. But, alright, let me keep going. I'm getting drawn out. So, alright, gotta bring it back up. Alright, gotta go back up to the top of this. Alright, last question from Baron Nightingale in this first part. Jeez, alright. Oh, are there any particular storylines you're eager to finally start writing? Oh, there's a bunch. And if you've been paying attention to the artwork, we got a lot in mind. And I know, and it's not random. It's one of those reasons why I'm also glad that I'm doing things in like an episodic manner, is that each arc will, it'll feature certain characters, but each character will get a lot of character development. Like, probably the thing I'm most excited for, without saying too much, and we're about to start it, is the Venom / symbiote arc. Because we're going in a totally different direction with that. Like, whatever you're expecting, I guarantee you're not ready for it. And Marvel can attest to that, because he knows what we got cooking for that one. Yeah, but it's going to be a big, huge, overarching arc. And that's not even... And if I had to pick the second thing I'm probably most excited, it's the whole Human Sunset aspect, which we're about to start that as well, because... And I'm really more intrigued now since you told me that the original run for the Equestria Girls, that they were going to end the series with that topic being tackled, but they never did. So that's why I'm excited to kind of put my spin on it.
Yep.
So, super excited about that. And if I had to pick a third, and it's not really much of a spoiler, it's more about Peter's character and how he's tied to Crystal Prep. Because we're seeing more and more that our boy isn't necessarily the nicest guy. And there's a reason, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But we know about the Loser Brigade, and they're getting expanded upon, including a new member. But Peter does have a second group of friends that we're about to be introduced, and that's his friends from Crystal Prep. It's not really much of a spoiler, but it's just going to be more, well, how did that work? It's Blue Blood, Octavia, who's hinted to be this universe's Black Cat, Sugarcoat, because there's something going on with her and Pete, Peter himself, and Lightning Dust, who's pretty much going to become this world's Electro. So that's honestly probably one of the episodes I'm most looking forward to, right there with Little Mouse, is the upcoming Electro episode, because I have really huge backstory and a lot of potential going on with Lightning Dust. So look forward to that. Alright, let's get to the next one. Oh yeah, Boomerang. Would AJ get a chance in the reboot now that Sci-Twi is less likely? I kind of have Peter's already kind of got a harem going, but he does, but he doesn't, because a lot I have Peter's love life more or less kind of set. AJ's not really on that list, unfortunately, or really none of the main sits are. We're kind of making that clear that they're off the table. And even the one that liked them basically just friend zoned them. So the main sits are completely out. But watch me just pull the wool over everybody's heads. You know what? Nah, it's gonna be Pinkie Pie. Aha!
Didn't expect that.
I don't think anybody would, and I think people would riot.
Right. They honestly probably would.
You guys ever wonder
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I just think it's fun to just give the background characters some more to do with, and for once, let the main six take a back seat because they already have their stories that we know what happens to them. It happens in the background, or they react to what's currently going on. So it's just nice for once to see someone else get the spotlight, you know?
Exactly. That's kind of why episode 2 is one of my least favorites, because all I really did was just retell what happened in Rainbow Rocks, and I kind of robbed one of the characters of their agency, that being Sunset, because we basically just retold the episode. That's why I kind of started going away from that. Like, even with episode, say, 4, which was the Equestria Games, we focused more on Peter and how he was reacting, and his history with, say, Cinch, and the dynamic with Twilight. Hence why we were kind of able to go in a different direction. And a lot of people have given me flack about why the main six are kind of villainized. I mean, they're not villainized. They're kind of doing their own thing. And if you really think about it, like, what usually happens to the main six and the Equestria Girls, first, like, unless it happens on their, like, at their feet, they're not really reacting to it. They kind of react from a distance until it directly affects them. That's why I feel, okay, this is what they're pretty much kind of just looking off in the distance, and they're seeing this, what's kind of going on with Peter and his group. And as far as they're concerned, it's just the, you know, the social outcast kind of shitting around.
Yeah.
You can't really react to that.
Alright, so I think we've covered the main six quite enough in these Q&As, so
True.
let's not get on a tangent.
True. Which is very easy to do. You guys know I ramble, and it doesn't help. Which, hang on.
I think outside of the villainization topic, though, the idea that the main six are just, they're more so very good Samaritans when you think about it, rather than flat out superheroes. The closest they get to becoming more proactive superheroing is like, what, Rainbow Dash when they were on a cruise ship?
Oh, yeah.
Episode or something? Because she actively wants to do that for the thrill of it.
Yep. That's true. And there was a short where they were all actually legitimate. They like legitimately got costumes, and they tried to do the hero thing, which I would actually love to tackle, and maybe even kick in the Superhero Registration Act on their asses and just see how they react to it. But all right. Well, next question. All right, from Solar Storm. Hey, I mean, that's, we can have a lot of fun with that, honestly, because let's be fair, like with the main six alone, if we're really being frank, I think only like half of them are really on board with the whole hero thing, and the other half, they're like, most of them are kind of just vibing. Don't really see Fluttershy wanting to really do that shit. Honestly, that would actually be kind of interesting when you really think about it. What the Accords, as it was in the MCU. So,
I mean, when you think about it, Fluttershy already helps in her own way. Like, she'd rather focus on the local level. You know, like the equivalent of going to a soup kitchen, or in her case, an animal
show.
program.
True, and she's already doing that. So yeah, so she's already involved enough. All right, so we got one from Solar Storm, first of many. Will Matt Murdock be his lawyer? Maybe be a family friend? Well, we have plans for... Actually, we have long-term goals for Matt Murdock / Daredevil, because that's also another arc that's actually about to pop up soon. We'll be with Peter and Murdock, and it's not really a spoiler, but just a simple synopsis is that, you know how Peter's senses have been like cranked up to 11 ever since the whole man spider thing? Like, you know, his spider sense is like super sensitive. He's having to like relearn everything. Well, basically, Logan is going to reference him to Daredevil, and that's how they lead to their team up. And that'll lead to a lot of other things down the road. So, but in terms of being his lawyer, if you think Peter, I'm guessing you're asking if Peter's going to be like sued at some point. I don't know. I mean, we could... What are you about to say? I mean... Not really sure if Peter would get sued. Not yet. I mean, he could be, when you really think about it. So that's up in the air, honestly.
What are they gonna do? Take him to court with no mask?
I mean, they tried in the books, and you saw how that went. All right. Okay, for my second question, will Gusty the Great be referenced? Does anyone know who Gusty the Great is?
Is that some like season 8 or 9 and My Little Pony character? It might be.
Because I do have to reiterate, if any of these questions involve anything beyond season 5 outside of Starlight Glimmer, I can't tell you a thing. I still have to sit down and watch the rest of the series. So I couldn't tell you anything about Gusty the Great.
No, probably no.
Yeah.
Not for now.
Right? Okay, third. Okay, will episode 8 involve Cable? Because of the future Sentinels. No. Like, nothing outside. It's mainly just going to be one other character and the Sentinels. And it's primarily the Sentinels from Days of Future Past, which is it's my favorite X-Men movie. Which, if you know anything about them, if you know about Nimrod from the comics, they're basically a bunch of Nimrods, which are super adaptable killer robots, basically. So, let's see. Fourth question. JMK Plover's Kingpin cover made me realize Fisk has obviously seen Rainbow Dash and Gilda's faces. Okay, that's just cover hype. You don't have to worry about that. Like, he won't see their faces. Like, it's not him that'll see him. That's just a case of, like, cover hype. If you know where, you have a cover, but what happens on the cover doesn't actually happen in the book. You have a lot of covers like that. It just makes you wonder.
Literally where the saying comes from, right? Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. Like I said, now, Kingpin is involved, but, no, like, you don't have to worry about Rainbow or Gilda being involved. And Gilda doesn't even go to school anymore, but you'll get that throughout her whole backstory. But it's going to be one of those really big lessons Rainbow Dash is going to learn about why the superhero life isn't glamorous. Because honestly, it doesn't get much more real than Kingpin and Tombstone, if we're being frank.
Off topic thing, did you hear who the villains of the new Spider-Man movie are going to be?
It's going to be, I know, Scorpion's one of them. Who are the other two?
Tombstone and
Scorpion, Tombstone.
Because
I saw a cover talking about that. I know Scorpion, Tombstone, and somebody else. Black Cat?
No, I don't think it's Black Cat.
I don't know why we're going to pull that up. Because I know they're all grounded, because I literally just saw that cover talking about that. New Spider-Man movie villain. Oh, really? Come on now. Movie villains. There we go. Okay, Scorpion, Boomerang, and Tombstone.
Boomerang. I don't know what Boomerang is.
Yeah, he's one of the more obscure villains. Oh, and also they hint that Mr. Negative will be involved too.
Man, he really got a glow up since Insomnia.
I mean, for real. All right, let's go to the next one. So, okay, this is still tied to the Kingpin question, because he's asking basically like, would Fisk send assassins, Arkham Origin style, to the school? I mean, he could do that, or he could try to do what Ultimate Kingpin did in the comics, where all he knew, and I think we hinted at this to you, Changeling, Kingpin in the Ultimate Universe was so fucked up that once he found out Spider-Man went to the school, you want to know what his idea was? Blow up the high school. That was his idea. Where even his henchmen were like, "Boss, are you fucking serious?"
Oh, it was abundantly clear. They had those looks of horror on their faces, and Kingpin just has to iterate word for word while class is in session.
So, yeah, so. Right. Alright, oh my, I was literally talking to a buddy about Ultimate Kingpin the other day. I remember that whole let's blow up the school thing. Yeah, right? No, he was... Well, Ultimate Universe is its own animal. But I love the Ultimate Universe. But before they killed it. So,
He's kind of a... that was kind of a dick move from him in hindsight, considering he should have been more mad at Daredevil when he said that. But no, Spider-Man saves his ass trying to stop Daredevil from killing him.
yep.
And then he takes it out on Spider-Man saying, I'm gonna blow up this school. I'm like, what the fuck? He just helped you.
You want to know something? It's for all the fat jokes. He took that personally. And I'm serious, changing. No, like, Spider-Man, he already lays on a lot of fat jokes on him in comics, in the mainstream universe, but it got so bad in the Ultimate Universe that Spider-Man literally walked up to him with a list and started going off every fat joke he can imagine. Alright, next question. Alright. This one's from Lemon Man. What are your personal theme songs for the characters introduced so far? And for fun, Peter, Spidey, and Man Spider are considered as different people. Yeah, they kind of are. Kinda. Man Spider, well, that's just an animal. They just call it what it is. Peter and Spider-Man, they're different to a degree. Whereas Peter still kinda reins himself in, whereas Spider-Man doesn't. It's kind of hard. It's honestly kind of hard to differentiate the two.
Depends on what you mean. Like, okay, so I think a good way of putting it is that Peter's a bit more aloof, whereas
That's a good way to put it.
Spider-Man is more open with the stuff that you would normally see bleed out of Peter, if that makes sense.
There you go. Yeah, it's pretty much Spider-Man is Peter without the filter. That's the best way to put it. Like, if Peter just completely removed the filter, it's Spider-Man most of the time. But in terms of, like, theme songs, I had to get back to you on that one. Because, honestly, and I hinted at it, Peter's a weeb. He would have something very Super Sentai-ish, or something very anime-ish as a theme song, if it was up to him. So, and we're gonna expand upon that over time. All right.
I can think of one Japanese song with Spider-Man in it right off the top of my head.
What's that one?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. It was like, you know how Japan pronounces certain words in general, like instead of saying Spider-Man, it's Sakai-da man.
Yeah.
Just imagine a song like that, just saying that over and over again in a catchy tune, with a Gundam-looking thing on the background of the cover.
Well, I mean, don't you know he's the emissary from hell in that series? His words, not mine, because he literally says, "I am the emissary from hell," and he does the pose, Spider-Man.
Yep, sounds about right.
Which, honestly, if you guys can watch that series, please watch it. It's an absolute gem. Alright, this is from...
Spider-Man as first Super Sentai.
Exactly. That he's their inspiration. He's the original Super Sentai.
It's right that's like a cougar for some fucking reason. But...
I know, right? Yeah. Okay. This one's from Judoon. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name. So far, we have mainly seen Marvel characters playing themselves, and MLP characters playing themselves as well, with only a couple of exceptions like Spitfire as Vulture / Falcon. and with Octavia as Black Cat, can we expect to see more MLP characters like this filling in Marvel roles? Well, we got Electro and Lightning Dust. That's like the only other one I can immediately think of. Cause I'm trying to figure some others out. Cause I've been asking around, like, what's her name? Shadowheart? Is that the character from the movie?
Oh.
Shadow Spark, something like that.
A villain, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh God, you're right.
What's her name?
It's Shadow something.
Tempest Shadow.
Tempest Shadow, that's right.
Yeah, that's it.
You should look up her real name, because that's just her villain name.
Yeah, that's true. I need to look that up. I need to watch the movie. I got the movie right here. I need to just sit down and watch it. We'll probably do a watch along in the Discord if you guys are down for that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. And we'll also do it for Badger. We'll do the Super Mario show and the Legend of Zelda series.
Yeah, I know where you live, motherfucker. I'll burn your house.
God damn, all right. But any other characters? I'm still trying to figure out, Mokes. I know, like I said, besides Electro and Lightning Dust and Octavia as Black Cat, I can't think of too many that make sense. Not right from the rip, anyway. And I don't want to remove, take away too many of the primary characters. Like Flint Marco is still Sandman. We still have Quentin Beck as Mysterio. Otto Octavius, obviously. Norman Osborn, Eddie Brock. Well, technically, we got plans for Blue Blood, without spoiling too much. What were you about to say, Marvel? Sorry.
What? I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm hearing voices. I'm finally cracking, or it's the alcohol, or both.
No, I
It's
swear.
just Cindy whispering in your ears.
Shut up! Alright. Oh, here we go. So far, also, for Canterlot High, besides Flash Thompson, the school is still made up mostly of MLP characters. Can we expect to see other Marvel teenage superheroes joining the school? Like maybe Miss Marvel, or Squirrel Girl, or White Tiger, or Shadow Cat? Squirrel Girl's coming. That's like the only one I can really confirm. Outside of that, I'm not sure yet. Okay, that one's and also you guys, like, if you guys want to make a spin-off or whatever of my series, please, you don't have to ask me for it. Just do it, all right? I get surprisingly a lot of people, and I appreciate it, I guess, and I'm flattered, but you don't have to ask me for permission. I'm not even the first guy to do a Spider-Man MLP crossover. Mine just happens to be the most popular, but there were like 2 other fics that I believe were up before mine. Mine is just, for some reason, mine is the one that blew up. I don't know why, but damn. I forgot how badass the soundtrack is. God damn. Badger's probably the only one who knows it. The Hyrule Warrior soundtrack. God damn.
Warriors games, and I'm excited for the Tears of the Kingdom one, or Age of Imprisonment, rather, that's coming out later this year.
Which is why I promise I'm going to finish Tears of the Kingdom before that goddamn game comes out. I got one game off my queue, so next is Xenoblade, then and Tears of the Kingdom. I swear, I mean it this time.
Sure.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, to be fair, it has been 2 years now. God damn.
Yes, it has. It's been 2 years since the game was released.
Well, eventually, I mean, we finally beat Elden Ring, to be fair. And
You'll definitely have to practice a little bit with the controls first, so you can
get
remember
back.
how to do everything.
Yeah, right.
Main game or DLC? I still have yet to beat the DLC part.
I beat the main game, and I just now, a few days ago, finally beat the DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree. I finally beat that. So Elden Ring is finally clear, just in time before the new one comes out too. So, all right. Next question, so I don't get. Soul Legend asks, "Will Spider Knight return again? I'm interested to see him and his Luna again and talk about their relationship, and maybe talk about having kids." Well, he's definitely coming back. He will be back. And we've been kind of hinting that eventually OG Spiders of Magic Pete is going to pop up too. Since Mayday's popped up, OG Twilight's popped up. Now we're just waiting on OG Peter to pop up. He'll pop up, and Spider Knight will return. So, how many stories do you have planned in total? My goal is to at least have, because we're on episode 8 right now. My goal is to at least make it to 20 episodes, and that's the goal. That's the goal. If I at least make it to 15, I'll be happy with that too. But honestly, the fact that I made it to 8, I'm still kind of surprised with myself. And the only reason things keep pausing is because of my health and work. But I'm finally in good health now. It just, I keep working. But because of this new job I got, things have finally been easing up. But I keep putting my homework to the side because I'm catching up on video games. So I'm sorry. But we are making progress on, and I'll go ahead and answer now. The only reason episode 8 hasn't been posted, and Marvel knows, it's because we've expanded upon it. We've added a whole nother arc to it to really kind of help give Human Sunset as well as Peter and the Symbiote more time to develop. So, yeah, so that's why that episode's been delayed. It's because we're expanding upon it. I've pretty much given it an extra arc.
Cooking multiple meals in the same oven.
So yeah, so look out for that, and I'll post a date on that because I am ready to start posting that one soon. Also, this is not the first time I've seen this question. Also, are we thinking? This is also from Baron Nightingale. Are we thinking of including Teresa Parker as Peter's sister here? I have no idea who this Teresa Parker is, but I keep seeing her pop up in questions.
I think we talked about this last time, but it's basically Peter's biological sister from the comics, but she might not be biologically a sister.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that now. That's right.
On some kind. I swear, I grew up on a novel book that did this concept already, except in that story, it was more of a fake out.
Which seems like that might be what they're doing again. It's a case. We're kind of going through the whole Ben Reilly, Peter thing. I was like, is he the clone? Is he not the clone? Now we're doing this whole Teresa. Is she? Is she not? She may be. She may not be. I don't know. So, I don't know. We'll wait for that one to pan out. But I have no really intentions of using that at the absolute moment. Only because I have no idea, honestly. And I don't think even the comics know right now.
I think they left it as ambiguous.
Of course they did. Which is what they do. Alright, oh, here's a go. Well,
Give a definitive answer when you could just leave people wondering and going insane over it.
Right.
They just made her because they just wanted to hype up something with the comics, right?
Yep.
We gotta put some weird mystery here, get people talking.
They always gotta shake things up, and this is one of those things.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, pretty much Little Mouse. Yeah, we're pretty much gonna have a big No Way Home moment where we're pretty much gonna have the big three, all three Peters team up for an incident. Because we're building to it. Hence why Satwa opening up all the portals and whatnot. It's gonna lead to a really big event, basically. But that'll be down the line. We're very much going to slowly keep planting seeds for that. All right. Will Wanda Maximoff appear? I have no plans for Scarlet Witch. To be fair, I feel Wanda. She's that. That's kind of a. Now, granted, Strange is a recurring character, but I feel Wanda's kind of just her own thing, honestly. And she really has no interactions with Spider-Man whatsoever. Not even in the comics, for real. Closest I can think of is House of M. And even then, Peter was just kind of collateral in that. Well, everyone was collateral in House of M.
Yeah, well, yeah, that reminds me. They recently released a book that's basically a big what if, like Peter and Wanda were siblings or something.
What?
So that's like a what if story now.
Spider-Man and the Scarlet Witch as brother and sister?
Yeah. Look it up.
An interesting concept.
I got the audiobook. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm kind of like, I'm deadly curious.
I mean, I am too. Let me know what that's about. I'm
Sure, yeah.
curious too, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Oh, okay. Soulstorm just confirmed Wanda was adopted by the Parkers in that book. Oh, okay.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
But that's it. But that's it. That's it. Don't mention anything else. All right. Okay. Next question. This one's also from Solar Storm. Will we see Tempest Shadow in Spiders and Magic? I would like to use her. I feel like she has potential, but I think I'm still trying. I still want to have to watch the movie. Just really, cause I have an idea of her backstory, but that's in the MLP universe. I gotta figure out. Okay, since we're in the Equestria Girls universe, how can I have something similar but different for this character, and use her in a way that makes sense? Because I really don't even know what's her ability. Because he says that she's got skills and press. She's sort of like a combination of like Black Widow, Silver Sable, and Psylocke to a degree. So I really just had to see what she's about and how using her will make sense. So give me time on that one. I would like to use her, but I also have to watch the movie too. So we'll do a watch along for.
Watch along. We just gotta do that.
All right, that'll be fun. Cause I got the movie right there, so and we can even do some episodes of the show too, so I can get caught up.
I should get the highlight. I should make a list of highlights.
Ooh.
Get the filler episodes and get to the interesting bits.
That'd be fun. Yeah, you'll have a better idea on how to set that up, cause I'm going in blind, so.
Yeah.
Cause
not all the episodes are winners, but I can get you the highlights.
Okay. Cause I haven't watched any consecutive. I think season 4 was where I stopped, and I only know about the Starlight Glimmer episodes from season 5. After that, I know nothing.
All right.
So.
You gotta at least watch the Applejack Karen episode. That one is like. Oof.
Okay.
That one's good.
All right, I'll definitely have to check that one out. Okay. So in terms of the other questions regarding Tempest Shadow, like will she be an assassin for Kingpin, a right hand for Sable, or a freelance agent? There's a lot we can do with her, but like I said, after the movie, I'll have a better idea of what to possibly do with her. Next question: will we see the pony versions of Shadow or Shadows? He looks just like a pony Venom, which that's again
another season 8 villain, I think. Season 7 villain.
A pony of Shadows, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, he does look like Venom. Okay. Okay, because we can watch that episode, and I'll have a better idea of. The movie takes place after season 7 is when the movie takes place. Okay. Okay. Another question from Lemon Man. What are Peter's thoughts on Sunset and her friends? That was easy. Okay, let me get get a good thing to go with for that one. Let's see. out of the humane 7, Rarity can really kind of care less about Rarity. If anything, he thinks she's stuck up. And there's a good reason for this. Not just because of how she reacts to him, but we have to remember his best friend is Blue Blood, and there is bad blood between, no pun intended, between Blue Blood and Rarity in this universe. So we'll get that fleshed out over time. So he's not a fan of Rarity. Pinkie Pie, very neutral. If anything, he's okay with Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie is just a vibe. She's kind of just there for the most part. And if anything, Pinkie Pie is almost no different than Derpy. She's just kind of the positive vibe. So he has no problem with Pinkie Pie. Fluttershy adores Fluttershy. I mean, who doesn't like Fluttershy? There you go. Very good answer. Okay, that's 3. Applejack, that's also someone he's very neutral with. Doesn't like, doesn't dislike. Just very middle of the road. It's like, alright, whatever. Sunset. As of right now, he likes Sunset. But that relationship's about to get very, very rocky because of the human Sunset aspect. Because, no spoilers, but he's not gonna like a lot of the choices Sunset made, and that's gonna have a lasting effect, for better and for worse. So, the last 2, Satoi doesn't like Satoi not all that much, or technically, he really no, it's a love-hate relationship. Because he gets more annoyed with Twilight more than anything else. It's a case of, why do you hate me? But then the more she eggs him on, because of how prideful and petty he is, he gives it back in spades. So, it's honestly a case of like cats and dogs with both of them. Because like, there's a history there that hints that they did like each other. In fact, they probably would have been together if several incidences didn't, pry them apart. Like his lackadaisical attitude in her eyes, because as far as she's concerned, he's lazy and inconsiderate.
Well, she thinks he is anyway. I mean, he kind of is, but also isn't. I think it delves into the whole Crystal Prep side of him thing.
Yep.
Makes them different as Crystal Prep students.
Yeah, because the big thing, like, she thinks he's lazy, but it basically stems from, because remember the first thing Otto noticed that when Peter was in his class and he was falling asleep, Otto immediately recognized the issue. Peter's bored. It's not so much that he's lazy, he's just bored because everything's too easy for him. And that's the negative aspect that Twilight sees. She's thinking it's laziness, not realizing, oh no, the guy's just too far ahead, honestly. Then there's that aspect. If you know the Satoi character, she looks at him as a rival, and based off the way she reacted to microchips in the Equestria Girls special, like the science fair, where she got second place to him, and it rubbed her the wrong way, that she was so heartbroken about that. It shows that she hates being the second smartest person in the room. She wants to be the smartest person in the room. So when there's somebody else there, she doesn't know how to handle that. So that's another reason why it really just won't work with both of them. And why she kind of gives him a hard time. So it's a case of, like, in terms of how Peter feels about her, he would be indifferent, but because of how she reacts to him, it eggs him on. Because instead of being the bigger person, he just decides to troll her and really amp it, and really amps it. He, instead, trying to put the fire out with water, he throws gasoline into it willingly. So
that's another good way of putting it. It's also due to, like, first first impressions usually matter.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep.
Peter made one of the best first impressions you could have made by comparison.
Yep. And that was on the group as a whole. Last but not least, Rainbow Dash. He does not like Rainbow Dash. He absolutely does not like Rainbow Dash. And a lot of people are giving Rainbow Dash a hard time. Peter's not helping. And it kind of just stems that he doesn't like her. Like, as far as he's concerned, she's a dumb jock. And Peter's a nice guy, but he's also an asshole. And we know how he feels about jocks in general. He does not like jocks.
Not necessarily just jocks. He hates popular types because Peter is
Yep.
ironically a very envious person. Why do you think he gets in so much shit with Johnny Storm?
Yep. So, and that's also why he doesn't like the group as a whole, and why the Loser Brigade is a fun contrast to that. Let's face it, the main 7, they're basically celebrities in that city and that school. They're the most popular kids there. So, of course, in Peter Parker fashion, he doesn't like them. Just by that contrast alone. So, and who's his biggest critics? The popular kids. So that's why. There's a few reasons, but in terms of like the character, Rainbow Dash, out of the main 7, she's the one he dislikes the most. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's
Insight that make his personal friends group kind of ironic, but there's like explanations for each of them, obviously.
Yep. And we'll expand upon all of them over time. But yeah, so that's what he thinks about the Humane 7. Overall, if he's not neutral, he doesn't like them. So, and it's honestly only 2 members of the group that he really doesn't like. Everyone else he can more or less give or take, with the exception of Fluttershy. Okay. Will Peter think of contingency plans to shut down the Rainboons? Not only are they reckless one-trick ponies, but they may try attacking Peter again.
It depends on how you see it, because again, it goes back to that thing with how Peter has a give and take relationship with them. So
Yep.
that also means how much are they really on his radar, you know?
Yeah. And we saw what happened. And Peter's known to be cocky, especially in his early years. So let's face it, he completely bounced them their first time. And they've taken that into consideration to where they're going to go after him more with teamwork. So the next time, if they decide to go after him. But with the coming arcs, they may not want to, or they may want to even more. But I can't say too much without getting into spoilers, so we'll leave that one open-ended. Next question. Okay. Since the Avengers, Secret Avengers, Defenders, Thunderbolts are all watching over New York, maybe you could use that opportunity for street-level heroes to commute to Canterlot City. You know, less competition for the overlooked heroes. I would, but I actually won't do that. Mainly because Canterlot High is kind of on it's its own thing, and it's the main reason why Fury sent Peter there in the first place. He wants Peter to be the main guy to keep that area covered, while everyone else is kind of doing their own thing too. Plus, you know, we actually have other heroes that will occasionally kind of pop up there. Mainly like Wolverine, Doctor Strange, and maybe a couple of others, but for the most part, it's Spider-Man's neighborhood. If anything, he's having to compete with the Rainboons more than anyone else. And you know, plus we have Falcon, who's there, and a couple of others on the way. But again, that's not without saying too much. Well, that's a good question. Will there be a scenario where a kid gets wrapped up in a fantasy too big to try to pretend to be like Spider-Man, only to get seriously hurt or worse? Yeah. I won't say when, but reality is going to come a knocking. For who and when, Won't say, but they're gonna get that. But someone is gonna get a dose of reality that, hey, the superhero life ain't for everyone. But you say,
Sounds like JJ's about to get some ammo.
yeah, honestly, you say it's common sense, but we have to remember these are teenagers. Common sense goes out of the window with kids, because let's all face it, we've all have done dumb shit as kids. We all have. We all have.
Are these questions in the chat or in the Discord? Because I'm looking at the Discord, but I'm not seeing that question.
Oh, these are in the server, because there's a bunch in the server.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a Q&A in the server. Oh, you're asking, oh, who's all got jobs? That's actually a good question. I know right off the top of my head, in terms of the girls, the only ones I can think of that have jobs, I have Fluttershy. She works as a part-time veterinarian. And AJ, you know, has their family business. Everyone else, I'm not sure yet. I'll leave it open-ended. Oh, and Pinkie Pie. She works with the bakery. Because, of course. Alright, next question. Okay, you're asking about the other kid. Yeah, if Peter is a sophomore, but Apple Bloom and her friends are seen as high school freshmen. So what grade would they be in? No, the Crusaders are freshmen. I think that's a nice way to put it. I say they're freshmen. I'll say Peter's definitely a sophomore. Well, I say you know what? I want to say they're all sophomores right now. So, but Peter, because Peter's 15 and a sophomore. So yeah.
Unless Peter skipped a grade because he's smart. I don't know.
I mean, he could. I mean, he theoretically could. And I thought about doing that, to where I thought about having everyone be juniors while he's the sophomore, but he skips a grade. I mean, it could happen. But then again, that would just put him in an even worse situation. I mean, he's already kind of a social outcast. You don't want him to... I mean, he could theoretically graduate from high school now if he wanted to. So... okay, another question. Do you think Principal Cinch got her hands on changeling magic cloning? No. Nothing magic. It's all purely genetic. So, and we've already hinted at cloning process has begun. Project Scarlet Spider, if you reread episode 7 at the end. Okay, that's okay, skip that. Okay, well, will there be anti-magic? Oh, that is something I do need to do. Because so far, I really had Peter deal with more technology and a little bit of magic here and there, but most of his stuff has been grounded. I think the only time he's really dealt with magic was when Eris and Strange appeared. So, but we do have that a magical arc coming up, hence why Eris and Strange will be coming back very soon. So, can Peter weaponize this black stone? Oh, that's from a future episode. I have no idea where that is. Man,
They're probably referring to the fact that OG Spires of Magic Peter used to do that. Some of them, when he had anti-magic webbing crystals or something in his fluid.
Yeah, but we have to take into consideration he had been there for years at that point, so he had a lot of time, to fully adjust and whatnot. Peter here, he's still new. Well, he's new to superhero in general, but magic, yeah, that's still new. So
it's also not a readily available resource either.
That's also true. And the closest he's dealing with that right now is with the Rainbows and their, geos and all that. But even he doesn't really fully know that it's the geos themselves, or how they work, or their strengths and weaknesses. He doesn't know much of anything about that yet.
I mean, that's kind of his own fault, too, because, again, he doesn't care enough to know the girls beyond Fluttershy.
Yep.
And unless Fluttershy spells it out to him, she's not
True. True, and it's generally a case of, why didn't you tell me? You didn't ask. It's generally that kind of case. So, oh, and also the Dazzlings, too, is also the closest he's dealt with magic. Okay, he's asking about Fury. That's a future episode. Will he use the Mandroids? No, well, that's a future story. That's a ways off, so I can't say much about that one. What's Kitty like in your universe? I can't answer that because she hasn't appeared. And that card is subject to change, but I probably won't be implementing Kitty because we already have a lot going on right now. In terms of Peter's friendship circles, his love interest, there's a lot of that going on. Do you have any plans for Sugarcoat? Yes. This is from Lemon Man. I do have plans for Sugarcoat. And I've hinted that she's basically one of Peter's friends from Canterlot. And she's hinted to have a crush on Peter. And she's not subtle about it. She's actually, the running gag with Sugarcoat right now is that she's the one who's super transparent with him. She's like, hey, I like you. But she's so straightforward that Peter thinks it's parody. He's like, well, you don't mean that. That's a trap, clearly. It's a case of you're too honest.
This is the same Pete that would probably be very pessimistic.
Yep.
Like, for the same reason that he doesn't have a high opinion of Rarity, is because he's had experiences with girls like, say, Sally from his old high school. And if you know Sally from at least Spectacular Spider-Man, yeah, Peters doesn't like the popular girl types, and they usually, like, just consider him a loser. So he's used to being pushed aside.
That's true. That's true. You can say that about a lot of Crystal Prep girls outside of his friendship circle. Even though, funny enough, most of his group is super popular, with the exception of one of them. You got Blue Blue, who's like the most popular boy in school, but like you'll get his expansion as to why him and Peter are friends.
To be fair, everyone might as well be considered popular within the school. It's just that Crystal Prep has completely different standards.
True.
Like, everyone's inherently exceptional just by having been at that kind of school.
Yeah. And like you said, the only one that's not popular in that group, or not the most popular per se, would be, well, even then she's still popular within Crystal Prep. It's Lightning Dust. She's something of an outcast, but those are for very, very valid, justified reasons. But you'll see that when we get there. Okay, another question. Will Peter decide to keep and store away all the magical items he can find since he got a Siren Gem? No. No. For the most part, he'll find... he won't keep a lot of those items, but he'll develop countermeasures, per se. He's going to be the shonen protagonist, because have you noticed that at the end of every story, if you fast forward to like the beginning of the next story, he's using that item from the previous episode. Like, you notice how he beat Scorpion? He beat Scorpion with the holographic tech he got from Mysterio, right? And he uses the impact weapon he got from Doc Ock back in episode 2 to help stop the Juggernaut. So he's constantly upgrading his arsenal. So it's not so much him storing magical items, but he's going to be constantly adapting. He's the shonen protagonist and he's the video game protagonist. He's going to be constantly leveling up. But, the bad guys are going to be constantly leveling up too. So, But that's how it is in the comics as well. Alright, great. Alright. Jeez, so many, and I'm trying. No one ever mentioned Sentry. Okay, no Sentry. Sentry's just his own thing. Absolutely not. He kind of breaks things.
Oh my gosh. I get it. It's popular because of the new movie. I haven't yet to see it, by the way, but I know the story in the books. It's just because something important happens in, say, like, certain recent... I try to generally avoid trends unless it really works within the story being told. It's kind of like how Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies clearly are a self-contained thing. They didn't even know who the Avengers when they had a team up with, Andrew and Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Oh my god, I love that pen. I teamed up with the Avengers. Great! What is that? I know, right? How is this helping? I love that. I love that part. But yeah, I feel Sentry. Well, nah. At least as of right now, no. We won't have Sentry. Now, you did ask, are we going to be dealing with magical idols? Now, not really a spoiler, but a future episode is going to involve Thor and Loki. I'm looking forward to that one. So we'll get a little bit of magic when they show up. Oh, next question. Does Peter like music concerts and idols? No. Also, why he sticks out like a sore thumb in this school. Because you notice he's a terrible singer. And I think we're going to try to summon the running gag, I think, is that maybe he does like to sing, but he's just god-awful at it, and he never gets better at it.
Probably the type to sing in the shower.
Yeah, that probably as far as we take it. But yeah, I could. But in terms of him actually learning to sing, no, I like to keep that aspect of him being the fish out of water. In regards that everyone and their mom just sings and they break out into random musicals, and he never understands why or the timing or how everyone's in perfect sync. And it's just one of those things he's just going to constantly ask and never get the answer to. So
It's culture shock essentially for him.
yeah. Hence,
Why is this become an episode of High School Musical?
I mean, he literally. I think that's literally one of the first lines I have him say in the first episode. It's like I walked into Disney and I don't know where the exit door is. Okay. Okay. Here's a general one. So, who's your favorite pony diva, and who's your favorite Marvel diva? That's a good question. Now, Pony Diva, there's a few of them. Who would you consider a Pony Diva outside of, say, like the big obvious one, like, say, Rarity? Would you say Photo Finish is a diva? Would you say she is? Or who would you... Or I'll ask you guys. Who do you consider a diva?
Describe to me a diva first, and maybe I'll give you an answer because I don't.
We're talking actually somebody with musical talent, or just someone who's a big old drama queen.
Trixie.
Yeah,
Right. Oh god. Well, that's not fair if we're gonna include Trixie.
But if we're talking musical,
As I'm looking. And to be fair, well, yeah, she's a diva, but trying to think of, she's kind of, well, we've given her some layers in this story, so she's a big old onion at this point. Talking about Trixie. I'm trying to think. Diamond Tiara, but that's just drama. Yeah, Photo Finish, where we're gonna go in the opposite direction with her, because you remember how she thought Spider-Man was like super photogenic in the original story, whereas this time it's the complete opposite. We're gonna have her be right there with Eddie in terms of like taking pictures of Spider-Man, but almost every picture she takes of him is super unflattering and scary, and that's just how she feels about it.
That's actually, I can tell what you did there. That's like a subversion of what she did in the initial Spiders of Magic series, you know, with the sparring match between Celestia and Peter.
Yeah.
Like, because in that one, it was very romanticized.
Yep.
How the picture she was taking, whereas here, we're just emphasizing that Peter...
He's creepy looking.
Yeah, anyone that moves like a spider would probably creep someone out.
Yeah.
And
Especially, and let alone if you don't get a good picture of him either. Because we've emphasized that almost every picture they get of him, he's either in the shadows or he's crawling around on all fours. So, especially like if you can, we'll do a watch along of this too. If you haven't seen any episodes of, have you guys seen any episodes of the MTV series for Spider-Man?
No.
It's a damn good series. Some of the CG is a little dated, but it's a pure CGI series. It holds up, and Peter moves around pretty freakily in that. He moves around like a goddamn spider in it.
Like, there's a good example I could probably think up off the top of my head. You ever see that thing where, how do I put this? So imagine that, you know the sound effect you think you would hear when you hear a spider going tip-tap on the wall? Like quick, batted feet? That's what Peter sounds like when he moves. Even the choreographers put attention to detail with that. Peter, if you were just using your sense of hearing, Peter sounds creepy. It doesn't just look creepy.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly, Little Mouse. Exactly.
I also forgot to mention the screwball count.
Screwball. Oh, oh yeah. Wait till we get to her story. If you guys forgot who Screwball was, yeah, the one who was constantly about the clicks and the social media. She's literally today's depiction of social media and how fucking toxic it is.
Wasn't there already a Equestria Girls character that basically is that? I think we thought of merging the two because it would make sense. Really.
If there is, please send me any information about the MLP version of that character, because I only know about Screwball from the game, and thank God they haven't brought her back.
Changeling, you know what's it called again? The one where everyone, you mentioned it before in a previous call. The girls got trapped in a phone or something from this character.
Yeah, the weird.
Oh, that's where she came from. Oh, that's right, you did mention that.
Weird specials.
Okay. Almost every special is weird when you really think about it. Okay.
Yeah, Valencia or something.
Is that the one that kind of looks like Fluttershy? Or am I thinking about somebody else?
She's got blondish hair.
Oh, blondish. I think about the chick with like... There's like a chick with pink hair.
I'm seeing pink. Like,
okay, pink. Alright, I was thinking something else. Yeah, pink.
Okay, yeah, like if you like really don't blink and look at him from a distance, she kind of... I thought it was Fluttershy for the longest time before I finally found out. Oh no, that's a totally different character.
I found a random clip, sent it to you. I hope that helps. No, I just gotta find... What did you say her name was? No, I need a...
Valencia, something like that. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that.
You spelled it.
Don't ask me. I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, Solar Storm's got it up. But yeah, it's VALENCIA.
Okay, yeah. Just as you said that, I found it.
Jesus Christ! That magic phone. She almost crushed an audience to death. What the hell? There were characters from Equestria that looked like one of the Humans 7. And it's happened 3 times. Okay, that may be one of the characters I'm thinking of. Because I know there was a girl with like pink hair and she had like a mole under her lip. But if you just look at her from a brief glance, it looks like Fluttershy. Like if Fluttershy was going through like an emo phase or whatnot. That's what I thought was going on when I saw her the first time anyway. Oh, but in terms of favorite Marvel diva, now that's a bucket that you can really dive into. But if I had to pick one of my favorite divas, I can't say she's my utter favorite, but she's one of my favorites. It's Emma Frost. Because she's an absolute unapologetic bitch. I'll just call it like it is.
You just want her thighs.
That's the thing. Like, if people talk about how sexualized she is in the game, let me tell y'all something. She is tame in the game compared to how she is in the books. I mean, because half the time she's walking around with, cleavage all the way out. It's just this time they emphasized her legs. And the main reason they did that is because she's a tank, so she's taller than most of the other girls by default. That's why they made, they focused on her legs in that game. And even then they got a couple of her outfits. I think it's like the black outfit where she's showing thighs and boobs. The game's all over the place. It's for goons. That's Changeling. Susan's his favorite. Nothing. Don't do it.
It's called having taste.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
No, it's called wanting to taste.
It could be both.
Man of culture, clearly. But he came from Overwatch, so you can't. Hey, he's a degenerate through and through, no matter the game. Alright, but. Alright, gooning aside. If I had to pick another diva. Would you say Felicia Hardy's a diva? Kinda, not really.
We're confusing femme fatales at this point.
I think I think he just said it pretty well. She's more sassy than anything else, which I can agree with that. So definitely not diva-ish. Whereas, like I said, Emma Frost, definitely a diva. Rarity, I really don't have too many characters that are just complete utter divas. Not funny enough.
I think we had a whole conversation once just about what even constitutes which girls are the feminine ones, and ironically, it's not Rarity. Like, it was Fluttershy. That was...
Honestly, Fluttershy and Satoi are the only two that really come off as feminine, if you really think about it, just because of their mannerisms. Or rather, definitely Twilight during her time at Crystal Prep, when she's like really soft-spoken and dainty. And like you said, Rarity, definitely not when you really think about it. And we'll be exploring that with both Sunsets, how they're going to be severely different in terms of personalities, and one's way more feminine than the other. So, but we'll happily explore that. All right, next question. So I think we're getting close. Wait. Next, we were just talking about, what do you think about Fluttershy's clones? She had clone? I thought it was just Pinkie Pie. Fluttershy had clones too?
What? Is there an episode about that?
I don't remember this either. What is going on?
What the hell?
Yeah, did Fluttershy have clones? Or... okay. Oh no, he's just talking about in terms of how there are some shy girl archetypes. Okay, he's talking about like Marble Pie, the shy farm girl, and Coco Palmo, the shy city girl. Okay, well they're not clones. They're just shy. Okay, I thought you were talking about like clones. Okay.
It's too much Spider-Man talk. It's easy to get mixed up.
They just act like her. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, you know what? Hey, we are Spider-Man. I mean, hey, Spider-Man's involved, and yeah. Send in the clones, baby. But Marble Pie, I only know about her through the memes and through the fandom. I haven't technically seen her episode, but I know the general consensus with the character. Is she really shy? I thought her whole thing was that she was just very, no pun intended, stone-faced about everything.
She's just very quiet. She doesn't really like say anything.
Okay.
Let's just say Fluttershy looks talkative compared to her.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Okay, she's just very mere a few words, basically.
She's like season 1 Fluttershy, except a bit more introverted.
Okay. Okay. And I know she's got the whole thing with like boulders or rocks, basically.
I thought that was Odd's thing, or is the whole family like that?
Wait. Oh, marble pie. I'm sorry. That. Oh, he's talking about marble pie. I was thinking about Maud for some reason.
Yeah, Maud. Yeah, Maud's.
Okay, so Marble's very meek. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. So, okay, ignore everything I just said. Okay, because I was thinking I had Maud in mind. Because I don't know a thing about Marble. I'm looking at. Oh, that character. Oh. Yeah, because I noticed the fandom tends to ship her and Big Macintosh. Did that spawn from the series, or is that just a corner of the fandom I stumbled into?
It's okay, a little spoilery, but they have a sort of like a moment where they're hanging out and they seem pretty comfortable with each other.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, why are they doing that? But it doesn't actually work out that way.
Oh. Okay.
Let's just say Big Mac's taken.
Yeah, Big Mac.
I was gonna say, because wasn't he with what's her name, Shirley?
Sugar Bell.
Sugar Bell.
It's a character that originally came from
Starlight's village.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Mac just got Riz. I thought that was it, but that's letting you know how far behind I am. 'Cause I just remember the whole episode with him and I think I'm saying her name right, Shirley, the school teacher.
Yeah. Oh, Hearts and Hopes Day. Yeah, that one. Oh God, I forgot. Yeah.
See, I'm behind. That's letting you know how behind I am.
Well, that was an earlier episode.
That's like season 1 or 2, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Listen, I think like people are free to ship it, but I think the reason why it didn't come back in the show is because I don't think a love potion really counts.
Yeah, true, fair. That's fair.
But yeah, it is kind of funny. It's just like Big Mac just is like delivering apples to like the Starlight's village. It just starts, chatting up this girl here, this little vendor girl, and they just end up getting together.
Oh wow.
Get some rivalry with what, like Justin Bieber or something?
Oh what?
Yeah, there's a rival that show that is fine for the girl's attention, but
Okay, we're definitely gonna have to group watch that then. All right. Okay, so he's brought it up to Sugar Bill was taken. Okay, so that's why. All right, and I know about Coco because even though I didn't see the episode, I know about the synopsis for it. Like, basically, like you had Coco and you had like the other bitchy mayor that was giving her a hard time and whatnot. It was a rarity episode. It's like one of the first episodes where they were in like Manhattan, if I remember right.
Yeah, season 4 episode. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to rewatch that one because I barely remember that one. Okay, so I know, but yeah, I couldn't tell you a thing about either of those characters. So I need to go back and watch Coco and watch this episode with Marble. Speaking of Maud, next question: do you think Maud could be a perfect candidate for the Loser Brigade? She strikes me as she's older, so I like to imagine she's probably already graduated. And
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Are there background scenes with her in the school at all, or is she just only known to be in the same household as Pinky? I can't remember.
I think she's in the household, but you know what else? But considering the older thing, in the actual show, you do see Maud graduating from college.
Oh, okay.
That makes a bit more sense, in my opinion.
Okay, so alright, so Maud's off the table. We'll chalk that she's probably around Spitfire's age, where Spitfire, I have her, she's documented at like I have her at 20, if I remember right.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she does appear in the actual school, so well, maybe she is. Maybe she's just an old upperclassman.
Okay, so you know what, like, I'll say, if that's the case, I'll have her be like a senior, whereas everyone else are like sophomores or whatnot. So, and also I think right now we're maxed out members. And got any male candidates in mind? The closest I have is Blue Blood, but even then, he's not really a member. He's just a guy who kind of just pops up, and he does hang out. But by definition, he can't be a member of the Loser Brigade because he's not a loser, like at all. Yeah, in case y'all don't know, yeah, because it's Eris, the class clown, Arya, the really dry one, and Sunset, Wallflower, that's just in the name, Trixie, the local loudmouth, Derpy, the klutz, and Peter, the local smartass. So
Speaking of Eris, currently I'm drawing up her vector for the future review of episode 3, and I gotta say, this design is really hard to draw.
Oh, okay. Like what what part of her is giving you the most trouble? Is it like her hair or?
I am like super picky about her hair over her face.
I get you.
It's like I gotta get the perfect swoop, right? Because it seems like you always like to cover one of her eyes.
Yep.
At first I didn't cover anything. I was like, oh, this looks. Oh wait, no.
Yep. Yep.
So I've been just like
quite a few characters.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. I know.
Yeah, because the main hairstyle from horses.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Well, that's just Eris, and don't forget she's a Draconequist, and not to mention she has 2 colors. You remember her hair is white and it's black in like 2 different areas, so you got that to take into consideration too.
So I'm gonna try not to be a major perfectionist about this. I'm like, I want to make this work. I'm like, oh, that's like, I don't know.
So okay, so I can make things harder on you and just include her in every episode from now on.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
I think I actually got her outfit down. Actually, I think I got the picture we had for that.
Cool. So she's in the suit.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
All right. Let's see. Next question. We can skip that one. Since Peter doesn't work for the Bugle, meaning he can never take money from Jameson, does that mean Peter can freely sue the Bugle? Well, technically the Bugle, it's technically just a podcast. And, I mean, he could, but he also can't. He really wouldn't gain anything from it. Well, or could he?
I mean, yes and no. Okay, let's think of it in terms of, like, it worked in the comic because he had a superhuman lawyer known as She-Hulk to do it for him. But he doesn't know her.
Nope.
Sure, he knows Daredevil, but I don't think he knows Daredevil as a lawyer.
No.
And plus, again, Peter's a vigilante on the run as of right now.
Yeah, so it's definitely off the table, and it's gonna be a while before that name gets cleared. And to be fair, if Jameson wanted to sue Peter or sue Spider-Man, he technically could. 'Cause remember, Peter damaged his car. If we're gonna go tick for tack, and Peter damaged his sign. Not intentionally, but he did.
I think that happened one time with JJ's limo or something when he was the mayor. And Peter,
Oh yeah.
he punched his hand through the roof of it because there was a spider tracer on it. He was tracking like Mr. Negative or something, I think, and instead it was on JJ. And Peter got in deep shit as usual.
Yeah, right. Oh, here's a good one. Next question. Spider Carnage was in an Ultimate cover. If Arya is like Gwen, would she get ensnared by Carnage? I won't say anything, but I will say Spider Carnage is going to be a very huge deal when we get to him. It's honestly going to be one of, well, honestly, if it's not the biggest arc, it'll be the second biggest arc when we come time to team all 3 of the Spider-Man up. It's going to be one of the biggest arcs of this run. So that's all I can say about Spider Carnage.
It's kind of fitting in a way, considering the first big boss that kicked off the OG Spires of Magic was Norman Osborn. How do you top that? Well, you got to use the main character's counterpart.
Yep. Oh, I've been seeing this character. Okay, will Lily Longsocks appear as a mutant freshman, Loser Brigade member, or an Inhuman? Okay, do you guys know who Lily Longsocks is? Or Longstocks, excuse me.
I think so.
It says she's from season 5, the super strong girl. The one who is like, she can like lift buildings and shit. Oh, wow. Oh, I see a clip. Okay. I think I briefly talked about that with a couple of my editors. I may have her pop up maybe as a mutant since she's at that age, but in terms of what to do with her, no idea. Or, yeah.
I can understand her being introduced, but if she gets introduced, I wouldn't expect her to be around for too long before Logan swoops her up.
Exactly. Either Logan or hell, even S.H.I.E.L.D., because we never know. It depends on the circumstance and whatnot. Wait. Okay, well, this is a silly question, but it's okay. Alright, since Peter is too young for women, like Vice Principal Luna, would she be interested in Daredevil?
That seems
Uh,
random. I don't know where that came from. Is this because it's something to do with the darkness? I'm not following.
No idea. No idea. I definitely can't answer that. And to be fair, probably not, because if you read comics, let's just be frank, Matt Murdock's got too much baggage. He really does.
Oh, his love life is even worse than Peter's.
Yep, yeah, you think Peter's is bad? Man, Matt's is horrible. Let's just dial it down. Like, best way I can put it, mommy issues. Let's just end it at that. And that's just the surface. Okay, skip that. Okay, oh, from Edcom. Alright. Here's a hypothetical what-if question. If Peter had attended Canterlot High first, instead of Crystal Prep, how differently do you think things would have turned out? That is actually a pretty damn good question. Because we know currently he went to Crystal Prep first, and he ended up going to Canterlot. That's actually a good question. Like, would he have been turned off by Canterlot and how things are there and transferred to Crystal Prep? That's actually a great question, honestly. And
It's probably the quote-unquote good ending version of OG Spires and Magic Peter.
It's about going to Canterlot High first instead of Crystal Prep?
Yeah, I'm just making a joke.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, it could have had some positives, but I like to treat things as a domino effect, pros and cons. And all.
Yeah. So like say he probably would have gotten along better with everyone there, but that relationship with Cinch, her being right there in his ear, her feeding that ego that he's got. Yeah, I think Marvel puts it best. It's like, well, like every what if issue with Spider-Man, and let's face it, Spider-Man has shit luck when it comes to what if comics. Like, you think things turn out better, but for some reason 99% of the time he comes out worse somehow, some way, every time. So I'll put a caveat on that one.
When you think about it, Spider Carnage literally is one of those.
True. And honestly, maybe we can use that for Spider Carnage. And maybe that's also where that coin, or rather, the coin is on, where you have heads and tails, that where, our Peter went to, Crystal Prep first, then attended Canterlot. What if for Spider Carnage, what if it was the opposite? Hence why things turn out so different. I don't know. What think about that one? Yeah, like you said. Freaking badger.
What?
Or just the picture you shared.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I think you saw that already.
Yeah, I
I
could.
posted it like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I just now seeing it. Also, would Peter ever go back to wearing the classic red and blue suit? Should his advanced suit get temporarily put out of commission? I'd be okay with that. And let's face it, he's got so many suits. I like to think, you know what? Yeah, there could be an incident here and there to where he goes back to the original.
Yeah, like that's the thing about him. Despite all his upgrades, he's still adaptable. If you stripped him of that one night, he'd show he's more than just a suit.
Yeah, right. We can even have him come up as Night Monkey. But, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's still one of my favorite suits. Oh, also, off topic. You guys see the Spider-Man Noir trailer?
Yeah.
I am...
What about it? I still haven't seen it yet.
I am optimistic. I'm very optimistic about it.
Okay.
So...
Now do a McGill O'Hara one. That one I want to see what they do with the budget.
Right. Right. And do our boy some justice. Okay, Lemon Man. When did Sunset exactly fall in love with Peter? I won't say it's love. If anything, she's more intrigued than anything. But you know, they're teenagers. Well, she immediately liked him the moment he didn't run off. Because, you know, when they first meet, that was when she was still... Basically, everyone's looking at her cautiously after, she blew up the front of the school. So, the fact that he didn't immediately run from that, and he, immediately accepted that. And, she shared with him the fact that, oh, by the way, I'm kind of from an alternate dimension where I'm a horse. And he didn't immediately chalk her up as crazy. It's weird.
I can't remember that. It's been a while.
She hinted at it. Well, she hinted at being from an alternate dimension. And she kind of left it open-ended that she may or may not be a pony. And it's more Arya that kind of drops that hint. Whether Peter believes it or not remains to be seen. He more or less doesn't.
Oh, right. This was one of those things Arya called out as a point of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Something about Sunset.
That was when...
new mind reading ability that she had.
Well, it was before that. It was one of those that, it was basically like she expected, she was basically wondering why Peter really wasn't opening up to her, and she kind of called out the hypocrisy of where it's like, you want him to come to you, but you're not willing to go to him. It was one of those, hence why she kind of brought up one of the aspects of their hypocrisy, which is something that I've noticed more and more the ponies are kind of guilty of. In Equestria, they're kind of racist when you think about it. But, he's bringing up Sophia. Well, there's a Trixie question from Solar Storm. If Trixie doesn't like living with her mom, maybe her dad's friend Big Bucks could be a possible legal guardian? Or would he be like the Mota Man? Okay, I saw the thumbnail that he shared that showing the pony version of Trixie's dad and his partner. No, it wouldn't be that simple. By all means, her mom still has full custody. And if every kid could leave their parents' house, a lot of them would. So it's not that she can't just walk out. Plus, it's not like her mom is abusing her. Is her mom hard on her? Yeah. Is her mom kind of a bitch? Yeah. But her mom is still providing a house over her head, and she's still caring. But her mom is just bitter. Extremely bitter. And that is having a negative aspect on their relationship. But
She doesn't have to own a cat, does she?
we could give her a cat. Especially now that, spoiler, Mysterio's in jail. She might. But no, Trixie can't just leave because again, that's still technically her mom, and you know, while they have a very bad relationship, they're still mother and daughter, and there's still hope that they can salvage their relationship. So it's not like, say, Gwen in the Ultimate Comics, where Gwen's parents were outright abusive to her, so much so that May was gonna beat the shit out of them if it was up to her.
I think what happened was, after the death of Gwen's dad, her
Yep.
mother couldn't be any less caring towards the well-being of her daughter. She didn't even care that she moved out and in with Parker's.
Yep. So we can say she's not quite at that point. Well, it helps that, you know, Jackpot is still alive, but she like we don't have her say that, you know, she doesn't dislike Trixie. If anything, she loves Trixie. If anything, she just doesn't want Trixie to make those same mistakes that she did. That's honestly the best way I can put it without spoiling too much. But their relationship is going to get expanded upon, so give it time. Alright. Okay, he's bringing up... Oh, he's bringing up the Inhumans. No Inhumans. I think we have a lot to go on with everything with Peter, his circle, and everything with Equestria, and even a handful of mutants. I don't think we need to bring the Inhumans in, not at the moment. I've already got a lot going on. For the sake of keeping things grounded, I won't use the Inhumans at the moment, anyway.
You should just make like a chart with every. You should take one of those posters with like all the Marvel characters and just go, okay, yes this one, no that one, yes this one. Just post that to Discord. Just be like, there.
That's honestly not a bad idea. Just get one of the big Marvel. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
It would be shorter if you just listed what you are using versus what you're against, because there's just too much in Marvel.
I mean, there really is. And
I'll like end up pointing out something obscure and expect you to know it.
yeah, right. And I mean, like I said, and we have to remember, it's not just a Marvel story. It's also a MLP story where we have to give those characters some shine too, because otherwise, that's why, you know, I'm trying to do my best to work with both and even fuse both of the aspects. Hence why, you know, I like to think of it as a hybrid of the Marvel and Equestria Girls verse. Hence why we have like hybrid characters like, say, a Spitfire who's a Vulture and a Falcon, per se, or a Lightning Dust who's also an Electro, or Quentin Beck who's also a Jackpot, and, you know, etc., etc. But we're also keeping some of the original characters like, say, the Rhino, or Flint Marko, Norman Osborn, so on and so forth. Like I said, we already have a lot to work with, so we can, let's skip that one. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, these are more characters from a future season I know nothing about. Do you guys know Garble and Smolder?
Oh, they're student 6.
Oh, okay, so one's like a griffin and the other's a dragon?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I couldn't tell you a thing. So that's another one of those. I just have to binge those seasons.
I know I told you about Ocellus, who's the younger changeling.
Yes, you did.
So.
Yeah, you talking about him and Thorax?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so. Alright, so we're down to, last couple of questions. Alright. Because I got that one, and got that one. Oh, okay, here's a good one from Baron Nightingale. Okay, last few questions, and these are all from him. First, how did Eddie and Peter become friends in this universe? Honestly, well, not even so much a spoiler, but I can hint that their childhood friends, it's kind of similar to, basically, Eddie used to really look out for Peter when they were younger, before he had to move. Peter was kind of basically his big, swole bodyguard, basically. So that's how they became friends originally, but we'll expand upon that as we get deeper into the Venom arc.
Sounds very spectacular.
Yeah, that's more or less the vibe I'm going for. Hence why, you know, they're going to be bros here. Why does Rainbow Dash really seem to hate Spider-Man and Peter more than the others? Okay, that's actually a good question. We went about it from Peter's perspective, but why does Rainbow hate him? And I'll keep this one brief because we tend to rant whenever we bring this up.
I'm gonna put a clock and we're going to do this for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Keep it short.
All right.
And
Yeah.
go.
Okay, and go.
I gotta go very soon.
All right. Okay, so I'll be quick. Okay, go. Okay, Rainbow Dash. Okay, first impressions. Remember, Peter made a very bad impression on her when he made fun of her name. You know, because that's a big culture thing for them. Is that their names are very important. So the first thing he does is make fun of her name. Strike one. Strike two. Nicknames her. Calls her Skittles. She absolutely hates that. We don't know why yet, but she took that extremely personally, and he's never apologized for that. So that's why she's holding that personally against him. 3, side twi. How, girls have at least here, they definitely have a hive mindset. If one of your best friends is constantly complaining about this one guy, clearly he did something wrong. So she's also kind of got that going on. In terms of Spider-Man, based off what social media is always saying about him, what the podcast is always saying about him, they're always saying he's this bad guy. So she's just, she's hearing that. And a couple of times she's interacted with him, he hasn't necessarily debunked anything. Then also, she's a bit jealous of the heroic side of him. She wants to be a hero, and she's meant to be the Johnny Storm to his Peter Parker. And if you read the books and know anything about those two, they hated each other in the comics. It took them a long time before they became best friends, because for a long time they hated each other. So that's what's going on there. That's quickest way I can put as to why Rainbow Dash does not like the guy. There are a few other reasons too. So there it is.
Great. 10 seconds to spare. Good job.
All right. And I know I missed something. There's so much more I want to say, but I won't. Nope. Done. Okay. When will we see... Yay! Oh, when will we see the Vulture make a return? And you're talking about as in Adrian Toomes. He will pop up again, because that was hinted at the end of episode 1. He's with Oscorp right now. As to when he'll pop up, it'll be sometime soon, but he will pop back up. And it's only right, because that's going to be a big Spitfire story, since he's basically continuing her research, but with his own spin on it. So that'll be a big character development arc for her. Are we going to see Twilight face her own consequences? Yes, that's going to be a recurrent thing. And this story, episode 8, is going to be the beginning of that, where she realizes that opening up all of those portals is basically going to have a really long-term effect. Because it's opening up their world to other universes and whatnot. And we're starting off with Sentinels that basically took over a different Earth and drove mutants and humans to extinction practically. So that's a good way to kind of say, oh, I kind of fucked up. And there's going to be more of that. Is Matt Murdock going to prove the claims of Spider-Man being a villain false? I feel like that's a bit of an easy way out. I want Peter to eventually find a way to do that on his own. So I think Murdock will get involved to a degree, but it's mainly going to be up to Peter to clear his name, and that's going to be a process. And the most important question, the final question, will Spidey do the Spider-Man 3 dance? I mean, of course he is. Let's face it. He has to at some point. It's only right.
When? Be the question.
That's right, Bully McGuire.
Know the song already.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he does have the Venom symbiote, so we could technically have him do it very soon.
Can you really say that's even the symbiote doing it, or just it brought out his inner dork? He was always a dork.
Well, I mean, yeah, very true. Yeah, right. Because even what he thought was cool with the side hair and all that, and he's growing his hair out too. So, wow. Okay, so yeah, we can implement that. All right, you guys got any? Wait, I did. I had him fighting. You know, I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad you remember that Solar Storm.
Oh, Garble. Oh, he's like the really crappy like dragon that keeps taking on like Spike and the guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, like when he recruited Ember. I remember now. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In terms of bringing him here, how do you implement dragons in this universe? That's kind of the thing.
Wouldn't really be fair too, considering he gets in a later season thing. Everyone gets an arc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you implement the dragon characters without just picking them on dogs?
Exact, right?
That's sort of like a, why is Spike different now? It'd be kind of...
Yeah, right.
What if? I guess it would be just a funny little quick joke, like Spike is this teeny little dog, and then this bigger dog just comes and barks at him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That whole aspect is a bit weird when you really think about it too long.
I know, right? Yeah, like, yeah. So probably not. But that card is subject to change unless we figure out how to implement dragons, like you said, without turning them all into dogs.
Into Fin Fang Foom.
That's also. Oh God. Because even then, I got the Diamond Dogs popping up, but they're not even dogs. They're dudes. And they're pretty much the equivalent of Bulk and Skull, but you'll see them when they pop up, which will be soon. But other than that, you guys got anything else? We've been going. That's 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. That was in the original figure. And remember, that was its own thing. This was really before the dragons were really implemented. I think I finished that story before the dragons. Yeah, before they. Yeah, that was way before the first story. That was before Ember even showed up. I don't know. Like I said, it could be random, but I want there to be a basis and a consistency. Like I said, the card is subject to change. I could implement Ember and the others at some point, but right now I have no idea what to do with them. Because I already have ideas for the changelings. We're going to basically give them... The changes are basically scrolls. They're a kind of a combination of scrolls and Morlocks. And that's already a lot to work with there. If you guys have any suggestions for dragons, you let me know, and I'll see what, and I'll consider it.
Yeah, so I'll come up with like a list of episodes. We gotta
Okay.
some good lore, heavy episodes. Okay.
All right, that'll be fun. All right, and we can do the same thing with the. Like I said, we'll do a group, a group watch with the first movie, and a couple other things too. Because I still haven't. I got it queued up. The episode, the special with the Wallflower Blush. We can watch that too, because I've been reading more and more. I didn't realize people Really hate that character. Really hate Wallflower Blush.
Maybe we should just do a group watch tomorrow.
That'd be fun, then. That'd be fun. Okay.
Is this like on a shared screen thing, or do you mean in person? Do you guys just live near each other?
No.
Oh, we can do it.
We can do it over Discord.
Yeah, we'll do it through Discord.
Like a person can share their screen on Discord, so that way everybody can watch.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you know what? We'll do that then. We'll watch. We'll watch the first movie and a couple other specials. And if you guys can queue up any episodes, we can go over. That'll catch me up. So, cause after season 4, everything's kind of a blur, and even most of season 4 is a bit of a blur. Cause the only thing about season 4 I can remember right off the top of my head is the Dragon Ball Z fight with Twilight and Tyrek. That's it.
All right, so we'll plan it for tomorrow. I'm gonna be busy. You got work tomorrow?
I do have work. So I do have work, but I'll be free after 8. So.
Oh, okay. We'll do a late night watch then.
All right, that'll be fun. I'll go ahead and I'll pull up the movie and we'll watch that. And the movie's not long either, because I see the movie's only like an hour, between like an hour 15 and hour 30 minutes long. So.
Is it on your server? Where's the screen get shared? I'd be interested.
Well, like I said, we're gonna watch it through Discord. We're gonna watch it through this chat. Like I said, and I'll screen share it, so that way you guys can watch it right there with me.
Yeah. Yeah. The weird thing about the movie, I know. We've had people have mentioned this in chat that it takes place technically after season 7.
Yeah.
It's weird because like during season 7 they introduce like all these races and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie they're never mentioned at all. Why aren't these mentioned? You realize, it's probably because season 7 and the movie were made like by different teams at the same time. So
yeah.
They're really communicating.
Yeah.
So you're not really gonna be spoiled by anything from the show. By
Okay.
watching the movie a little earlier.
Okay, good.
It's got a different problem from the story when you think about it. Like how everything's localized to one town, whereas in the official series, everything's localized to Equestria until you get to certain episodes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, God, my days are so screwed up. It's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Friday Night Watch, baby.
All right. So, like I said, I'm going in blind. I've only seen like a couple of clips from it, because I know about Tempest Shadow, and I know the main villain is a bit of a goofball. Or rather, he's almost a complete antithesis of Tempest Shadow. You got this super serious villain. Then you got the one who's like super jovial and fourth wall breaking, to where they're both kind of jarring side by side. That's all I know about.
The main villain in the movie is voiced by Lee Schreiber, aka the Sabretooth.
Oh shit! Damn.
I mean,
Fun
you want to know
fact.
a character that is got a interesting, different voice in MLB?
Who's that?
Well, do you remember what I told you about Snips?
Oh yeah, you told me about. I know about a few voices. I know Snips. Yeah, that character from Bionicle. The only other character I can think of that's got a great voice from a hilarious voice actor, I can't think of his name, but Iron Will. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, he's voiced by the guy who does Hercule.
That makes sense.
Yep. Which, if you know the character, it just fits like a T. The world champ.
See that Changeling? Like, it is a funny contrast.
Oh, Sharon.
Here it is. Here you go.
Oh, Snip. So, and the character you were telling me about, from Bionicle. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, whatever you're expecting, it's not that.
Oh, Saga. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, perfect.
That's funny.
Yeah, right. Alright, you guys got anything else I could let y'all go? I mean, we can still chat if you guys are up for that. But other than that, we got all the questions out the way.
Oh, if you're still here in an hour or two, I can chat.
Okay, that'll give me an excuse to go type then. So I need to go do that. Alright, but everyone else, thanks for hanging. What you got?
Yeah. I'm gonna be posting up my rough draft of the Garrus design in the Discord.
Oh, please. Please do.
Like, I want to get like I think I'm gonna do like 3 facial expressions for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do like a smug smile,
Yep.
a shocked expression, and an annoyed expression. Like, I think that'll cover just about everything.
I got you. Which I mean, like, cause it fits with the Peter sprite you got. Cause he's got, you know, these. I know he's got the wide-eyed expression, the annoyed expression, the general smile, and yeah. So that actually fits to it too.
I'm just hoping to get something funny. Like, I still think one of your best scenes is that. How would you like to be my sidekick?
Same. Like, it's between that and the beginning of the next episode. Was it? I got tricks up my sleeve, and just see Trixie just screaming on the inside. And of course, you know, Stand Back. You know, just the whole song. It's on my goddamn phone. So, and we have a redemption if anyone wants to redeem it. He sings the whole song and it's glorious.
I don't know when I would do that.
Well, since it is Wolverine, you can sing that song that was in Deadpool Wolverine, or any of them, honestly. Oh, especially since I'm assuming you'll be using the Hugh Jackman sprites, like you used to.
You know, I'll probably use Hugh Jackman.
which I was honestly one of my favorite running gags from your old reviews is that, like, Peter's cutie mark was at first it was Toby, then it was Andrew.
Definitely Kobe.
Yeah.
I did both of them.
Yep. That's right. That was before Tom became a thing. So.
Yeah. I would have put him in.
Yeah.
Trying to picture what he would have looked like as a pony with his current hairdo, since we've totally, shifted that.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Sorry. Talking about. Oh yeah. Going from a spectacular haircut and we're having him go with the longer hair right now, which is only going to be brief since everyone's going to hate that. With exception of him, but still, which is comic accurate. Oh god. All right, but yeah, it's 10 o'clock. We went for over 2 hours. I appreciate y'all hanging out. We can. Anything else you guys wanted to chat about?
I mean, I have plenty I wanted to, but it's just the time constraints.
Yeah. What about the rest of yous?
I think I'm good for now.
Alright.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Alright.
We'll look forward to tomorrow.
Alright, sounds good. Like I said, I'll go ahead and grab the movie. I'll just put it over here so that way we'll... I technically have never shared through Discord, so... I'll probably message you a little later, Badger, about... I'm gonna experiment with it and see how I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having to do it.
Super easy.
Okay, it is easy. Okay.
Yeah, I've been learning how to do it with a few gaming streams myself. Not like on Twitch, but in Discord.
Yeah, yes, like I said, I do it through Twitch, but with that being a full movie, I don't want to risk getting copyrighted or anything.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't. That would definitely get you a strike there.
So. Alright, so, okay, alright, we'll go ahead and log off and I'll go ahead and experiment with this. And if I don't figure it out, I'll message you a little later about it.
Okay.
Alright, but thanks you guys for hanging out.
You're welcome.
Alright, we'll we'll do this again at some point, but we'll see each other tomorrow then. All right, thank you. Okay.